Hello everybody, my name is Pupsy Animations, and today I am in Jurassic World Evolution 3. Now, I'm going to be building a nice, beautiful habitat for the newest species, Majunga. Wait a minute. This isn't Jurassic World Evolution 3. This is Planet Zoo? What the hell am I doing in Planet Zoo? Oh wait, I know. I'm building a beautiful exhibit for everyone's favorite feline, the sand cat. Now, I know what you're thinking. Pupsy. You've been gone for a while and now you're back playing a different game? This is sacrilegious. And I know, but people, this is my channel and sometimes I like to branch out. And by branching out, I mean doing nothing of significant value. Which is just, what I usually do. But hey, you win some, you lose some. Now, you can see currently I have this beautiful area right next to the entrance of this park to place a nice, beautiful sand cat exhibit. And I just need to figure out what I'm going to do for the custom barrier. Because as all Planet Zoo players know, the best of us use custom barriers. Not to let you're any less of a Planet Zoo player by using normal barriers, but custom barriers are awesome and stuff. Unfortunately, that logic doesn't really pertain well to Jurassic World Evolution 3, because who is that a pain to make any good-looking custom barriers for? But Planet Zoo, it's easy as pie. Just grab 2 sticks and some mesh and boom, chicka-boom, you got a nice custom barrier. Oh, my voice sounded awful. Now, I got some pretty big news. Now, that FNAF video I was working on, hasn't really gone anywhere, unfortunately. I still have plans to make it, but, it hasn't really been going far. But good news, I've been getting back into the whole animations thing of the, Pupsy Animations name. Which is, I like it. I like getting back into the stuff that I, used to do a lot of. I'm gonna be honest, for this channel, I want to, branch out and play other games. I'd like to, make some TF2 videos for this channel. Because, I'll be honest, when I play a game, I like to be hyper-focused on it. And right now, I'm just kind of, not really hyper-focused on Jurassic World Evolution 3. But you know what I am hyper-focused on right now? A game about building a zoo. And that's what I'm going to be bringing to you guys. Some zoo game stuff, and maybe some TF2 content if I feel so inclined. And if you guys want to see that, because you're my best viewers ever, and I'll do anything to make you guys smile. Except have a consistent upload schedule, so you guys don't ask for that. Anyways, I'm lining the outside of this exhibit with these rocks, because I thought they looked pretty snazzy and cool and awesome. And we all love cool and awesome things, right, people? I mean, the world would be pretty sad if we didn't have cool, awesome things. It would just be not quite as cool, not quite as awesome world. Which sounds really sad when you think about it. But not quite as sad as the Monsterverse now. I saw that trailer for that new Monarch Legacy of Monsters, and that looks rough. I am very sad how far we have fallen in that Monsterverse. It used to be a grounded, what if monsters were real, the monsters are, going around. It still took the somewhat, outlandish concepts from, the original Godzilla stuff, but, it played it straight. It was going to try to, make it, funny, Kong giggling. Why is he doing that? And why is Godzilla smiling? And why is Godzilla just running around and killing people? I should make a video about this, because I'm very passionate about the fall of the Monsterverse. But when I make that video, it's going to be a long one, because I have a lot of things to say about how far the Monsterverse has fallen. And before anyone says anything, no, it's not like Showa. Monsterverse can never be like Showa. Showa was Showa. And no one will ever be Showa. Showa Dodoa. In other news, I'm not sure if I said this earlier because I have horrible memory, but I am making a comic about a murderous walrus. No more comics until it's done. And also, I want to get back into uploading more, because, I like making videos for you guys. I like feeding you guys are like my beautiful children, and I feed you guys with mildly entertaining videos where I go on insane rambling sometimes. You know, I feel like the very humble, elephant seal when he galumps around the beach, showing, his massive weight and trampling all over the children. What a humble creature. We can all aspire to reach the humbleness of the humble elephant seal, can't we? Now, you might be wondering, Pupsy, what happened? Like 5 seconds ago, there was like a completely normal thing, and now it's like a lot of progress is just made, and I tell you, it rhymed with lipotatamorored. I forgot to record, I'm being honest. I have horrible memory when it comes to this stuff, so I just kind of forgot I was recording. Maybe I should get that checked by a doctor. I might have short-term memory loss. I might have short-term memory loss. I might have short-term memory. Okay, let's stop playing, guys. I know what you're really here for. To see me build a sand cat habitat. Now, right now, I'm going to work on the indoor of these buildings. Because I'm going to be honest, I am not a big fan of building indoor habitats. Like the indoor, staff areas. Because I'm a guy who likes to build the stuff the guests can see. But I'm also really, really like caring for fictional creatures for some reason that aren't in Minecraft. So, I can't stand to have these sand cats have this sad exhibit, so I have to build them a nice indoor play area where they can climb around and be all sand cattish and bark for some reason. I don't know why sand cats bark, they just do that for some reason. They can do all that inside, away from the prying eyes of disgusting guests. Just thinking about them make me sick. Their beady eyes and their, yelling in an incomprehensible language. It scares me. I am very scared. I guess this goes into one of the many things that I'm scared of. Like cephalopods. I don't know, I'm just not a big octopus guy. They scare me. The way they just, move when they're dead and, really move. Other than that, I'm pretty chill with the octopuses. Just don't like the idea of something that's, dead moving. It's spooky. Real horrifying stuff. Gonna get you in the, deep recesses of your soul. Now, I know this little walkway area is kind of pointless because it doesn't lead anywhere, but I thought it looked nice. And isn't that, the moral of the story? Try to make things look as nice as possible. I'm pretty sure someone of influence said that. And if they didn't, well, let's pretend they did. Because that's the other meaning of life. Gaslighting yourself. Which is something I am all too good at. Which, I guess it's not the best flex to say I'm great at manipulating myself into thinking things that aren't real, but, you know. So, basically, I was thinking that a lot of people, they go to, zoos, and they, go to the garden part of a zoo. You know what I mean, right? Yours, it's not like me, who just has a zoo that has a garden in it. My local zoo has a garden. And for some reason, my parent just took us to the garden basically half the time when I really wanted to see all the humble animals. I begged my mother. I said, "Please, mother, I want to see the tapirs." And she said, "No, son, we're going to the garden, and you are going to enjoy it." And then I cried, the sad, unhumble cry of the unhumble person, which made me sad because I prefer to be humble, like the humble Ankylodocus. What a humble creature. Speaking of JWE3 and the Ankylodocus, you know what's sad? In the new species viewer, they kind of removed the ability to, see the animals in, different positions and stuff, which is really sad. I really did like doing that in JWE3. You could JWE2. You could see all their humble poses and see who's the humblest animal in the game, and it was very obvious which ones were really humble and which ones were really greedy, like the disgustingly greedy Alamosaurus. It took up so much space. It does not even consider it for the other animals. The type of greed they spoke about. They spoke about this greed, and yet we did not heed their warnings, and now our world is falling apart at the seams. But, it is what it is. I wouldn't be too bothered if Alamosaurus, never came back. But speaking about sequels to games, we should probably talk about something that's a little more relevant to the topic. Planet Zoo 2. And I'm saying this right now, Frontier, if for some reason you are watching this, please title the sequel Planet Zoo 2 Electric Zoogaloo, and I promise it would be the funniest thing ever. Everyone would clap. Like, I promise it would get you 10 billion sales. Because, I would love to play Planet Zoo Electric Zoogaloo. Tell me that isn't just the peak cinema of all names. Now, making enclosure in this game, you have to strike this perfect balance of trying to make something that just, speaks to you, while also not failing, the problem of, crap, that animal could climb that fence. Which is something I think about a lot in my dinosaur games. That's kind of why I miss, a Kai's tool, from JWE2. Because it allowed me to check how tall each animal was compared to the barrier I was going to put for them. Because, I want to make sure it's believable that my animal will not jump over the barrier and attack the guests. I'm a very thinkable guy. I'm playing 3 billion IQ chess or something like that. I mean, something along those lines. Now, speaking about lines, did you know that all of us are lines in a cardboard box, just floating around the humble world, humbly humbling around the humbleness? Now, I had to pause because, I know that it's sandboxed and I kind of made it so the animals can't escape. But, if I was a guest, I wouldn't be really safe looking at this exhibit. Also, it's just, too much yellowish beige. I like some more greenery in my zoos, So you gotta get it loaded up with the best plants in the game, buffalo grass. I think that Frontier should make it so that every animal likes buffalo grass, because no enclosure looks complete without buffalo grass. It's buffalo grass. In fact, Frontier, bring buffalo grass to JWE3, because it's buffalo grass. Genuinely one of the most peak things ever brought into gaming as a decoration. Just makes the habitats look 10 times better. Now, the sandcats, they seem to be humbly enjoying their humble, enclosure. But, what really peeved me about them is the fact that they're barking like dogs. But they aren't dogs. I don't know why. I feel very unconspicuous about it. Pretend that's a word. I like making words because, it allows people to fulfill their true creative purpose and make up words that make no sense. Like uncapacitorious, which is a different word than the one I said earlier, but who cares? We're all just people floating on a giant rock in space, trying to get mild enjoyment from video games and watching people play video games. The problem with a lot of these feeders right now is that they just kind of look a little unnatural just placed there. And I know that I could probably do something with modular building to make it look nice, but there's something called patience, and unfortunately I don't have a lot of it. So you just kind of gotta go with it. So I just buried the food tray into the bedding, which I think might be a health hazard, but you know what they say, guys. You win some, you lose some. And if anything happens, I'll just blame Sarah Huckabee Sanders, current governor of Arkansas. Because who else do you blame for your problems? Hopefully not me. I'm a very trustworthy guy who would never cause any problems. You know, some people say that I'm actually the least problematic person on Earth. And they will support my campaign for King of the World. And I think you should too, because when I become King of the World, I will give everyone a free pair of mittens so that they can have snowball fights without getting frostbite. I know. Please, save the applause for later. Now, right now, I have to build a beautiful fence that my guests can see through. Because, unfortunately, these guests have to look at my beautiful animals, which disgusts me. These beady-eyed freaks should not be looking at my beautiful animals. But unfortunately, I have to relent and let these gibberish-speaking creatures that walk around just doing nothing of value, just dancing, and, you can fling them in the air, which is at least a plus. I like flinging guests in the air. Make them feel the pain that I feel allowing them in my park. Now I can just cover the entire thing in this beautiful fence that I made, and boom chicka boom, that would be a pretty good enclosure. And you know what they say? Enclosure, I hardly know her. Now, yet again, there will not be any live tours, as I want to save the tours for when, have a decent amount of the park done. But, I think this really looks, really nice. And you can really understand the vision I was going for. And I really like these bamboo fences I put up. I understand that you could be a little, someone could be like, hey, wouldn't the sandcast just climb over that? And you know what I say? It's a video game. And I can bend reality to my will. Which reminds me of Will from Stranger Things. Which reminds me of the fact that I watched Crucible and it had Winona Ryder from Stranger Things. And she was like, oh, Will, oh, Will, I need to save my Will. And she was like the most goated character in season 1 or 2 before just being flanderized into just the, oh, Will, I have to save my darling Will from the evil, scary clutches of anything that happens. I can somewhat understand her because, if I was a parent and my son got kidnapped by, evil monsters, then, I'd be a little protective of it. But yet again, it's Noah Schnapp. If my son was Noah Schnapp, I wouldn't be very protective of him. Or something like that. You just get the point, right? And also, the Stranger Things finale sucked. But anyways, bye, people. And sheeple.